It's been well documented being obese affects several aspects of your health, but some new research points to a parent's weight directly affecting their children. Joining us to talk about that study is Dr. Richard Chaffoo. Dr. Chaffoo, Happy New Year. Thanks for being here.
Happy New Year, Jen. Good to see you.
All right, so what did this research exactly find?
Well, it's a fascinating study, Jen. So researchers from NIH, they looked at 5,000 couples over a several-year period. And what they found, Jen, was that was families where, say, the mother was obese, which means a BMI of above 30, the children of that parent were actually more likely to have problems with communication skills, with fine and gross motor skills. And they also found that if the father, on the other hand, was obese, that it was about a 75% chance of them failing these tests. And certainly if both parents were obese, there was even a higher chance for the child to have developmental delay. Now, what we mean by that was they questioned these parents, they asked about their weight before and after pregnancy, and then they had them do a series of tests of fine motor skills, gross motor skills, communication, and problem solving, and then they mailed back questionnaires. Now, the interesting thing, Jen, is they actually studied these kids 7 times over a 3-year period, beginning at the age of 4 months. So the data is pretty convincing.
Right, and I think I remember reading that for the fathers who were obese, that affected their social development for children. Let me ask you really quickly. You mentioned they started noticing these kids, we were studying them when they were 4 months. Well, then you could backtrack and say that then the mother's weight when she is pregnant also impacts a child's development?
We think it can actually be both parents, Jen. Certainly the mother's weight, the father's weight. Now, the interesting thing is researchers don't understand the cause. NIH researchers tell us that there are some animal studies where they see during obesity, if there's obesity during pregnancy, this may cause an inflammatory response which may affect the fetal brain. Now, we don't know any more than that information. It's certainly hard to extrapolate between an animal and a human, and we need more studies to be able to prove this, but definitely it's compelling data on a large number of couples and their children over a significant period of time.
Right, so now you bring up such a good point about, so how do you link the two? Why does it happen? That's probably the next thing researchers are going to look at. Dr. Chaffoo, before I let you go, what is sort of the takeaway here with this study?
Well, I think the takeaway is obesity is not only bad for one's own personal health. We know it's associated with cardiac disease, also with stroke, with diabetes, and now we see implications for your children if you're obese.
Yeah, always some good insight there. Dr. Chaffoo, thanks for being here.
Sure.
Appreciate it.